Mr. Narayana Swami V in honor and appreciation of the CMI community, Carmelite of Mary Immaculate, for their yeoman contribution in holistic education. It has become a tradition to begin our performances with this piece. This will be followed by our first piece of the evening, On Broadway. This was also composed by our conductor in the year 2010. This piece is inspired by sounds of mainstream jazz and aims at shining light on elements of Broadway theater with big band jazz traditions. It captures the essence of Broadway with its dramatic and expressive melodies, shifting from heartfelt ballad to a lively ensemble that keeps you hooked. It was written with the intention of introducing this genre to Indian students. The next composition is another original by our conductor, named The Swing of Jazz. This piece blends the vibrant energy of jazz with the grand scale of orchestral sound. It explores the rhythmic drive and syncopation central to the swing genre, and features playful melodies and swinging rhythms that bring a sense of both elegance and excitement to the orchestra. We hope you enjoy our performance.
That was the fanfare dedicated to the community of Carmelites of Mary Immaculate for their yeoman contribution to education and to humanity in the world. I'm so happy for this. On Broadway. On Broadway is on the lines of mainstream jazz. It was specially written for education to the students of what mainstream jazz was and how it is interwoven in a Broadway production, not show. survey for you. It's followed by another composition of mine. So the students asking, what is the swing rhythm? Swing rhythm. So one more education. What is swing rhythm in jazz? So I wrote for them a piece and called A Swing of Jazz. Thank you. That was a swing of jazz. I thought all of you would get up and swing. Then it was not inspirational enough. I'll have to work better. I'll have to work harder.
Next, we will be playing the Pontifical March, the national anthem of the State of the Vatican City. Written by Charles Gounod and arranged for winds by the conductor, it is a procession piece played to signify the presence of the Pope at a formal occasion. Followed by that, we will be performing another original composition, Remembering G.F. Handel. Composed in Germany in 2010, Mr. Narayanaswamy wrote this specifically for the students of the music school of Schweinfurt, an initiative of the Music University of Würzburg. The composition was written to highlight the grandeur of Handel's compositions. After that, we present the theme from contemporary Swedish composer Lars-Erik Larsson, Disguised God. This cantata for choir and orchestra is the story of Apollo, the Greek god of poetry and music, who, in exile, wanders earth disguised as a flute-playing shepherd. We hope you enjoy the presentation.
The anthem of the Vatican City. It's very long, but we have for you the beginning and the ending, the best parts. remembering Georg Friedrich Handel. Georg Friedrich Handel was a musician, unlike others, lived in royalty and riches. All the other musicians died mostly as paupers. One musician died totally deaf. That was Beethoven. Handel died totally blind. A little bit of insight into this was when I was interning at the Schweinfurt Music School when I was doing my diploma at the University of Würzburg. And I was in charge of this group of children, very curious to know that how a person riding an elephant or a horse knows Western classical music so much. They were actually, it is the truth. And so when I could play all the wind instruments, it was wind orchestra and string orchestra. So when I could almost play all the instruments, they were very surprised. And they asked me, sir, do you also compose some music? I said, I decompose a lot. I shall do a little bit of composition for you. So let's think of something. And just then we heard Handel's Messiah from the choir somewhere. For unto us a son is born. For unto us a son is given. I said, then one girl said, when can we do work on Handel? So I said, we will do the different styles of Handel. What a great personality he was. I think he's the only musician who's buried amongst royalty at the Westminster Abbey with all the kings and the queens and all the royalty. The only musician who lived in normal. He was always not allowed to be normal. He had to compose music for the king and queen and grand pompous music. So that was Handel you heard. Now we move on to Kathy. We move on to a very famous Swedish composer, Lars-Erik Larsson. That's what it's pronounced, Lars-Erik Larsson, Scandinavian composer. And this is from his cantata, Forkalad Good, which means a God in disguise. And this, what you're going to hear, is actually sung a cappella by a choir towards the end of the cantata when God gets absolutely disgusted. And God goes back. That's the thing. There are two stories to this. There is a jazz version also of Forkalad Good.
The next performance is a piece called Set Free by Graham Lyons. It's a contemporary saxophone piece that blends modern classical, jazz, and improvisational elements. Known for its technical challenges and emotional depth, the work explores dynamic contrast and rhythmic complexity. The title reflects a sense of freedom, encouraging the performer to express themselves creatively while navigating both structured and improvised sections. It will be performed by a bona fide alumni, Caleb Sam Santi, who has been teaching instruments since the second grade and plays almost every instrument you see here today. He is accompanied by Neza Rose Thomas, a music teacher, pianist, and vocalist who plays the euphonium in the wind chamber. She is also an alumni of the wind chamber orchestra. Sit back and enjoy the performance by these musicians.
Our next piece will be conducted by a student and saxophone player, Hannah Sharon Verghese. This is a saraband composed by G.F. Handel and arranged for brass by Earl D. Irons. The Baroque saraband, such as this one, is a slow, stately dance in triple meter, and this particular composition was originally written for a harpsichord. The theme of this saraband appears prominently in the film Barry Lyndon. After the saraband, we will be performing Indian Rondo, originally written for solo trumpet and piano by early classical composer Johann Hummel. This arrangement for winds is done by our conductor. Please sit back and enjoy.
name is very, very misleading. Indian means actually native, isn't it? Indian means native. Indian drawn up by Johann Nepomuk Hummel. He had a penchant for writing a lot of music for trumpet. His very close friend, let's not go into details, but he used to write a lot of music for his friend who played the trumpet regularly. So this is one of the pieces he wrote for trumpet and piano organ. And I found it very interesting. So I said, why not let me write it for the orchestra? So actually I wrote it for the orchestra. So now this is a wind orchestra. Let's see the comparative studies. There would be mistakes in this.
Next, we'll be seeing La Paloma. La Paloma is a timeless classic that has transcended borders and generations. Composed around 1860 by Spanish bass maestro Sebastian Yeldier, this evocative piece has become one of the most recorded songs in history, with over 1,000 versions spanning diverse cultures. As one listens, the haunting imagery of a white dove, symbolizing both hope and the final message of love carried from a doomed ship, stirs the soul, evoking an exquisite blend of heartache and yearning. After the tango, the wind chamber will present Rondo Humoresque, a composition by Milton Dietrich. This work follows a rondo structure, a musical form characterized by a recurring theme or refrain that alternates with contrasting sections. To help you visualize this piece, think of the music as a playful exchange between delicate, whimsical fairy ballerinas tiptoeing on stage and these dark, monstrous goblins trying to get close to them to kidnap them away. Listen closely for this back and forth interaction as it brings the composition to life with its contrasting moods and characters.
La Paloma, the dove. Are there any ex-service service people in the audience? Oh, they would give the souls to they would give the souls to listen to this because it's been played by the military bands ever since I was a small child. I've heard it being played by the military bands. They was used to be so beautiful. Not anymore. Before the vote of thanks, I may forget. This is something which has been flashing in my mind right from the beginning of this concert and from the inception, the planning of this concert. Grateful thanks to Father Viju, Painaka, Devasi. Am I right, Father? Viju, Painaka, Devasi. For being the brainchild, the suggestion, let's have a concert. To motivate them. So Father has been an excellent motivator for not just for music, but for everything in this campus. Father has been an amazing motivator, director of human resources, director of whatever director. Thank you so much, Father. They're all very grateful to you, Father. Thank you so much. You were the only subject. Why did you have a concert with the 10th and the 13th? What is the next? Rondo humorous. Oh, rondo humoresque. Rondo means something which keeps repeating itself, going round and round and round. A theme which keeps repeating itself. Humoresque is you are free. You have a free hand to laugh at all the mistakes we make. Laugh loudly at that. It's so beautiful to play for an appreciative audience. It means so much to all of us. Even if there were, I told you, even if there were 10 people there who understand and clap for you. And there are many people here who had to leave, but they are still here. Fathers right here. I can see so many people who have other commitments, but they have decided to stay. Thank you so much.
The next performance for the evening is a piece called Cross Country by Graham Lyons. It's a lively and engaging saxophone composition that is often performed in educational settings. It was composed with the aim of showcasing the versatility and expressive range of the saxophone, while also offering an enjoyable and challenging experience for the performer. The piece is typically structured in a way that reflects different musical landscapes or moods, potentially evoking the idea of a journey through various terrains, much like a cross-country adventure. This piece is going to be performed by Caleb Sam Sentic, accompanied by Neza Rose Thomas. I hope you enjoy the performance.
Please take a bow.
Next up is a performance called Latinette. It's a performance of a passionate tango composed by Harold L. Walters. The first half is a mesmerizing tango, and the second half of this piece is a tarantella, an Italian folk dance characterized by quick steps and a fast tempo. The word tarantella comes from tarantism, a hysterical condition that was caused by the bite of a spider. Rumor has it that people bitten by this tarantula spider had to dance in a frenzy for hours to sweat out the poison. Feel free to move and clap along to this one.
humor was also given to the fact that the person bitten by the tarantula spider had to dance in a frenzy to perspire, sweat out the poison for hours. Usually he died of exhaustion more than the poison.
Next up is Great is Thy Faithfulness, a hymn that emphasizes God's unwavering faithfulness. The orchestra will play an arrangement written by the conductor along with the original written in 1923 by Thomas Chisholm and composed by William M. Runyon. Unlike many hymns that stem from dramatic life experiences, Chisholm wrote it as a reflection of God's steady provision throughout his ordinary life. Join us in reverence of the mighty force that lives in and around us in every being and every season. This is Great is Thy Faithfulness.
No function, no celebration, no festivities. Nothing is possible without thanksgiving, a hymn of thanksgiving. At the end of the day, before we rest our weary bodies, close our eyes, not knowing whether there is a tomorrow. Nobody knows. In every scripture in the world, you do not know if there is a tomorrow. When you will go to sleep, you go to sleep. If you're very unlucky, you'll wake up. I can't say anything else. This is a hymn of thanksgiving to God, thanking God for all His grace, His compassion and mercy. I would like to personally thank God. Of course, I thank it every moment of my life for being associated with the CMI community. From being a staunch Josephite and a Jesuit, associated with very senior Jesuits, of course, nobody's there's only one father who's still alive. All the others are gone. So I'm so happy and thankful to God that all these students have had this opportunity to be a part of a group like this, which they will never ever have a chance in this country, even if you are willing to pay for it. So thank you, God. Great is Thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see, we see. All I have needed, all we have needed, your hand has provided. Great indeed is your faithfulness, O God, O Father, to me. couldn't help but think of one of my former students, Sriraman Vaidyanathan. He's here. He used to sing it so beautifully. This is about 30 years ago. 30 years ago, my God. I'm a fossil. What next? We come to our last piece. Second last piece, whatever. All of you have heard, especially in the past 2 days, I've been getting a flood on my phone. A lot of people sending me, of course, a lot of very, very eminent people sending me about the Titanic, the story behind the Titanic sinking, and the 8 musicians, not as James Cameron wrote, 4 musicians who played when the ship was sinking. There were 8 musicians, and quite a few of them were below 20 years old, just hired for the cruise. And they had met for the first time. They were getting to know each other actually. They had hardly rehearsed. So when they said, let's all go and take our things and wait for the inevitable, so the band leader said, I think we should stay and play. And they played Nearer My God to Thee. Now this was inspired by this choir girl here, Teresa, that we were talking after meeting with the photographer and talking to Father. I said, we are on the 10th floor. We are performing in the 10th floor. I said, that's Nearer My God to Thee. Then I said, that's a good tribute. It's a good tribute to, this is a tribute to all the musicians who have died as paupers, who have given so much of their life to music, music education, produced brilliant students, and died as absolute paupers with nothing, Many of them died of very weird illnesses. And that's the time when all the Spanish influenza was going on and the bubonic plague, and so many of them just died. So this is a tribute. We just put this piece together day before yesterday. I was just talking to them about it, and then I get all these messages from everyone on Titanic and so on, so how the greatest musicians in the world came together to collect funds for them. Nearer My God to Thee.
As we reach the end of today's concert, before I give the word of thanks, Father Vijay said he wanted to say a few words. Father, would you like to come up here, please?
Thank you very much. I'm just here to thank and appreciate our entire team over here. Last week, when we had a very casual conversation, I was just telling Narayan Swami sir, can we asked the students if we can put up a performance. You know, usually they get a very shorter, time, during the other, performances they do. Come up on stage and perform maybe 15 minutes, even shorter than that. I thought it should be a sort of orchestra for 45 minutes or so. So I just shared my desire to Swami sir, and immediately I told him, can we do it maybe in the Birds Park? Maybe I didn't really know where it can be better. So we walked up there in the Birds Park open stage, and then he didn't make any decision then. And then first thing I told him was, please do check with your students if they are comfortable in doing this, because we are just few days before our final days of instructions, and then they're going to write their exams. So I wanted to know if they are very comfortable in doing this. Then immediately I get a call that very excited to do. Then we got back to me and then made all the plans. So I really want to thank Narayan Swami sir for the leadership that you took. I think we should give him
Thanks to his father and to Tanvi Raichura.
Yes, Swami sir is a very tough man. All of us who have been with him, you would all agree, right? Is there anyone who does? No?
What happened yesterday?
But very, very loving person, yeah? He gets, bread, sandwiches from home, and then gives to them like a father, and he's tough father, yeah? So, thank you very much, Swami sir. And we have two more, leaders here who supported the entire team. Tanvi for sure. She has been coordinating the entire program. Thank you, Tanvi. And she has also planned many more things for them this evening, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much for your love, concern towards the entire team. Yeah. Also want to thank Melvin for being with us this year, supporting the entire. I want to thank the entire team of Christites, old and new, our friends here basically, Christites. As Swami sir said, well, I don't think there are universities in India, maybe not many universities if at all. Yeah. So who can boast about having a wind chamber orchestra band? So this is very rare in the Indian university system. It was started under the leadership inspiration of Father Thomas C. Matthew, who was our first Vice Chancellor of the university, and then it has come a long way. He always take the name of CMIs, Carmelites of Mary Immaculate. I'm very glad that I'm part of that breed, CMIs. So I'm really grateful, that all the time that you remember the Carmelites of Mary Immaculate. We inspire and draw our vision from Saint Kuryakos Elias Chavra, who was a social reformist, a spiritual man who also was a great educationist. So we all, draw his inspiration every morning. We pray to him that he intercede for us, and I'm sure he will be the happiest person in heaven when you say CMIs and then our, cause of education. So thank you once again, Narayan Swami sir, Tanvi, Melvin, and the entire team. Thank you so much.
This is the end of today's concert, dear audience. I hope you enjoyed our presentation. It's been a crazy year for each one of us, and it's only the first quarter in the rest of the year. The concert has been in talks. They've been, saying 1 week, but we've been discussing this, discussing this for 4 years, and I'm so glad for it to finally come true. We had a performance last week for which the members, the alumni, and the guest performers came in every day after college. And then this concert, they've been coming very, very regularly. They've been really cooperative and dedicated to practice times and rehearsal times. All of this while managing their academics, assignment deadlines, group projects, illnesses, work, and 100 other things. I thank each and every player in the orchestra. Could you please give them a round of applause? It's more easy to do. Thank you. You guys truly deserve this. Truly, I said, standing ovation, thank you. That would be fantastic. The dedication they have shown, Truly remarkable. And thank you so much. I would like to thank each and every member that has taken all of your contributions have indirectly or directly played a role in making today's concert a success. I would also like to thank Father Viju for his extraordinary support from the management. I have never heard him say no. Every little thing that I have asked from him, he's always been very generous and kind, and he said yes. Thank you so much, Father. We really couldn't have done it without you. The next SWT Bhaskar sir, thank you so very much. We didn't like in the last 3 days when Bhaskar sir was behind us, he was like, what do you need? What do you need? We were like, sir, we don't know. And we gave him the final list yesterday and he was here with the volunteers. Thank you so much for even coming and staying till the end. I know you had to go, but thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Kathy sir, there for sound lights. Thank you so very much. I was bugging him with text messages and saying, sir, please this and that, and he's so kind and accommodating to all of our needs. A special mention to Dr. Nazaris, who couldn't be here, Dr. Taras Ashton-Bell, Professor Andre, Professor Ray, yes, thank you. Professor J, sorry, second name and first name. And for your encouragement and support towards the orchestra. The last and the biggest thank you is to our conductor, Mr. Narayan Swami. We have a small, kindly accept from you. Alright. I'm personally very, very grateful towards all of his attention, time and service he gives to us as a teacher. It's no surprise that so many of the alumni come back to visit to play with the band, all because of Ernest. Thank you so much. So thank you for guiding us. And thank you for giving it your best despite the illnesses. No! He had a fever this morning. Thank you so much, sir. Before we play our last goodbye hymn, Abide With Me, we would like to present a small memento to all the guests who could be here. We invited you, starting with Father Viju, yes, members, yes, please accept it on behalf of us. To all of you, thank you. Thank you so much. It's not much, but thank you. Professor Jay Young, thank you so much for coming. Sir, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming, sir. We sent you an invitation. Thank you so much for coming, yes. Professor Andre over there at the back. Bhaskar sir, Mr. Sebin, please accept our token of gratitude, and sir over there at the back, yes. From the SWT, yes. Thank you so very much. This is not much, but that's from this place. Ms. Pavitra, yes, please come up on stage.
I want to say a few words.
Yes, please come up on here. From there, okay.
To the entire orchestra, you guys just, I think I speak for all of us here today when I say you moved us to tears. You really did. And NS, you are magic, and I've known you my whole life. And I think the thing about brilliant minds, and specifically musically brilliant minds, is that they illuminate their own path, but they light the way for millions and generations until time immemorial. So thank you.
We come to another. Reverend William Henry Light knew he was going. He had tuberculosis. And those days, except for one very primitive drug which is still prevalent now called rifampicin, is one of the main drugs for the treatment of tuberculosis. So it was on some weird derivations of penicillin in the very initial stages. So he knew he was going. So he penned down the lyrics for this most amazing piece of music, Abide With Me. which was first performed by his greedy parishioners at his funeral. And of course, they sought out people who wrote out the music for it. And the music of William Henry Monk. William Henry Monk stood out as being beautiful. What makes the Indian national anthem, what the version of what we played, please, not other version, not funeral dirges by other composers. There's nothing short of funeral dirges played so slowly. An anthem has to be powerful. An anthem has to be moving, not, float like a little pit ball on the ripples of the water. Stationary waves. William Henry Monk wrote out the music. The Indian national anthem, the harmony was by Sir Herbert Murrell. He was knighted much later, but was by Herbert Murrell, which makes the Indian national stand out as a top 5 or 6 national anthems in the world today. So we have Abide With Me. So it's so moving. We are just going to play one verse. When all other helpers fail and my comforts flee, help of the helpless, O Lord, abide with me. Grateful thanks to all of you for being such an appreciative and such an encouraging audience. It's rather we have 10 people appreciating us than have a huge crowd talking to all of them, talking to all on the phones. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thanks to each and every member of the orchestra who put in. You could actually feel the souls actually playing, not a lesson. Every performance of ours like this is an education to the entire audience. It's an education for them also. So when we leave the audience, we are much wiser than what we were when we entered the audience. Sincere thanks to Tanvi. Please stand by as I mentioned him. Tanvi, Angela, Neza, Jemima, please come in front. Satvik, please come in front. Professor Balaji, come in front. Aaron, please come in front. Aaron, please come in front. Melvin, sir, please come. Please stand. Show me your remarks. These are the people who are the backbone. Professor Balaji is teaching now at Christ Academy as a mathematics professor. Aaron is doing his engineering. He's from the Frank Anthony. He was the music captain from Frank Anthony's. Only one fab right here. Fab CN. Clarence, a very good musician. Caleb, you heard him play. Caleb. Huh? What is it? Melvin, who has been helping me a lot. Melvin was helping. I hope will be of more help next year too. Tanvi, Jemima, Satvik, Angela, Neza, these are all our alumni who have come to help us. So there are the backbone is very strong. So, thank you so much for being the anchor and the backbone of this concert. Thank you so, so much. Good night to all of you. Would you like us to play anything in particular? The people who can leave can leave. They have to leave, huh? Abide with me again. Are you mad or something? Huh? What is the whole thing? The whole program?
Both the verses to us.
That is the whole hymn.
I know, but
I think all of you have to leave. If I'm not mistaken, I think there are a lot of people who have commitments, prior commitments. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. Good night to all of you.